What's going on, everyone? We are live here. Week 7 of the NFL season is in the books. Today is the first day of NBA season. NHL is already underway. It's a great year. Got my Phillies in Game 7 this evening. Tons of stuff going on. Let's break it all down. All right. JM, everybody. We've got a little Starbucks coffee today. Cheers. Nothing like a good old coffee to get your morning going. We got Hugo in chat. Hugo, JM, my friend. And we've got the champ himself, Week 7 winner of the Owners Club main event, rocking the King's crown, Mr. SgtStogie. Congratulations, my friend. We'll, of course, be breaking down your lineup as a part of this show. And we had another interesting week in the NFL. I feel like it was relatively high scoring across the board. We saw some upsets. We saw, let's be honest, the big showing from my Philadelphia Eagles really taking it to the Miami Dolphins. Then we had San Francisco falling to the Vikings last night, a Justin Jefferson-less Vikings. I don't think that was anything that people saw coming. Kansas City had a big game with Mahomes really going off, Lamar Jackson as well. But it seems like we've got some pretty good parity across the league this season, is what I would say. And in a lot of ways, it's because nobody's really proving to be that much better than the rest. Every team has its flaws, or at least has shown its flaws in certain games thus far this season. But lots of fun football teams, lots of good competitive football teams, and excited to see what happens the rest of the season here. We are just shy of halfway, I guess, 7 games into the year out of 17. So we're getting there. We're getting towards the halfway point. And as we get towards that halfway point for TOC, we're going to be announcing some stuff today and rolling out some stuff today, but we are going to be having the best ball contest live in the lobby for entry. Best ball does not lock until week 9, so you will have 2 full weeks to build and get in your lineups. We're also going to be running a little snack pack, buy one, get one free deal. So if you're out there and you're looking to buy some more cards to add to your collection, it's not live yet, but in the very near future, should be sometime today, you'll be able to buy one, get one free for all snack packs, unlimited amount between now and the start of the week 9 contest, the start of the best ball contest. All right, that is enough of the one more plug / intro is, as I said, basketball season begins today, and with that comes our fantasy basketball game using your NBA Top Shot moments, our game Hoops. And we are returning this year with 2 new scoring formats. So last year in Hoops, you simply played players from your Top Shot collection. There were no kind of restrictions on who you could play, which led to a lot of people kind of using the same guys over and over, a lot of overlap between lineups. So we are testing out 2 new formats here. Shout out to Neil for building and putting these together. But we have Hoops Boost, which for anybody that is maybe familiar with Moment Ranks play, Hoops Boost is a similar format there where you are getting a boost for different play types. So depending on the play type of the moment that you use, you can get a boost on certain statistics and statistics relative to their last 10 games performance. So a bit more of a hyper strategic game for those that are getting in the weeds on all the NBA data. And then we have Hoops Icons, which is more similar to last year's format. However, rather than just playing 8 players, you have 2 icon slots, and the top players can only be played in the icon slot. So we've allocated 15 of the 15 highest scoring players in the NBA from a fantasy standpoint. They are in their own tier, in the icons tier. So you play 2 icons every night, and then you play 1 guard, 1 forward, 1 center, and 3 utilities to round out your lineup. So still 8 total players there. But you can check those contests out in the lobby right now, otmnft.com/hoops. These contests right here are completely free to enter, but these first ones do not have any prizes. We are still testing out the platform, making sure scoring and everything, etc., works as we expect. And then very shortly, we will be rolling out contests where you can buy in for gold and compete against others for gold, where 100% of the gold entries will be going into the prize pool. So quick update there on hoops. Let's get on into the week 7 review. And we talked about it in the intro. We're not going to bury the lead here. We're going right to our guy, the man of the hour in chat, Mr. SgtStogie, puts up 143.46 points and quite comfortably takes the lead here by almost 10 points, 9 points over second place. SgtStogie, my king. Cheers, friend. Also, absolutely love this lineup, right? You want to talk about correlation. It does not get any more correlated than the lineup that we are looking at here. You have Kansas City quarterback stacked up with Kansas City tight end. Classic stack, arguably the best stack that you can play in TOC. Leaning into that correlation further by taking the LAC wide receiver, using his joker to take the LAC wide receiver to get the run back on the other side. So a full game stack of the Chiefs versus the Chargers, which we, had a great chance of becoming a shootout game and in a lot of ways did. And then finally, correlating Cleveland running back with the Cleveland defense in a game that ended up being very high scoring against the Indianapolis Colts. For those that are not familiar, the concept of correlating a running back with a defense is that in a game, and this game script actually is kind of contrary to it. I guess Cleveland D probably got some touchdowns, right? But generally speaking, the idea is that a team gets ahead. If they're ahead and not giving up a lot of points, it means that their defense is doing well, and it means that they are more likely to run the football in order to run the clock and to conserve their lead. So that's kind of the general thesis on why there's correlation between a running back and a defense. Now, in this one, the Browns gave up 39 points. Is that correct? No, 33 points. 38. I can't see. Yeah, because that's right. They had the chance to win at the end, but didn't. So, yeah. Nicely done, Stogie. Says, was a fun sweat with Sunday and Monday night games. Yeah. Quite the sweat with, Eagles and Dolphins playing Sunday night, with the Vikings and the 49ers playing on Monday night, right? 4 teams with some of the highest scoring TOC cards in the entire game. Philly quarterback, Philly wide receiver, Miami wide receiver, Miami running back has been crushing it. Even Philly running back's a solid play. Obviously, San Francisco running back, San Francisco tight end, San Francisco wide receiver. Granted, they were missing Deebo Samuel. And Minnesota wide receiver, also, again, missing Justin Jefferson, but coming out with a nice performance. So shout out SgtStogie, true grinder in the streets, taking it down for the win there. Just kind of looking at the slate as a whole, Kansas City quarterback came in as the highest scoring card, followed by Buffalo quarterback, then followed by, look at this, Indy wide receiver. Indy wide receiver, not one that you would expect to be the highest scoring card on the slate, but there we have it. And we've seen this kind of a couple times now, where cards that you would kind of pre-lock slate to be more of a low ball type of play ends up being scoring in the top 5. So shows the unpredictability of the league right now, and also shows kind of the fun chaos that comes with the team scoring element of the Owners Club. Yeah, so look at that. Indy QB. Anthony Richardson goes down. But man, Gardner Minshew, line him right on up. Probably the best backup quarterback in the league. I feel like if you want a backup quarterback, Gardner Minshew's kind of your guy. And he's also typically been pretty strong from a fantasy perspective. Cleveland running back, as we saw in Stogie lineups. How about KC wide receiver Mecole Hardman back in the mix there and getting some love? Los Angeles Rams wide receiver Puka Nacua, just an absolute beast. Defense saw, kind of a pretty even distribution at the top here. So in those first maybe 2-3 weeks, we saw some extreme scores from defenses that were really breaking the slate. It's still, obviously beneficial to have the best defense, but it hasn't been as slate breaking in the past week or two, which, I think kind of is expected. And those first couple of weeks were somewhat of an outlier. So that's the overall. Let's go back to the contests here. Let's check out the low ball. Honey Badger scores 35.22 points. Look at that. SgtStogie also hammering home a top 5 in the low ball. Great week for the King. Yeah, how about this? The low ball Cleveland quarterback, Cleveland wide receiver stack gets there in a game where Cleveland scored 39 points. Wowzers. And goes to show why Cleveland running back and defense were in the optimal, right? Because they scored all the points. So pretty crazy outcome there. So they were sweating the Minnesota running back last night. Interesting. They were sweating that Minnesota running back, begging for them not to score points. That's kind of a fun reverse sweat to have on a Monday night. Checking out Stogie's lineup, went with the Chicago stack quarterback, wide receiver, Arizona running back, Miami tight end, Stone Cold 0. Miami tight end feels like it gets 0 almost every week. 0 is like very, very firmly in the range of outcomes for Miami tight end. Probably the most valuable low ball card in the entire game. Just so likely to get 0. Congrats to our low ball winners. We got the side hustle. Remember, in the side hustle, you can no longer only play 2 starter cards. You need to have at least 1 base card or 1 rare card. And Chapstick takes it down. Kansas City quarterback stacked up with the Minnesota wide receiver. So coming from behind on Monday Night Football, beating out all of the other Kansas City quarterback lineups. Look at this. You got a Baltimore. Look at T-Man. Baltimore quarterback, Minnesota wide receiver. So very close to taking down that top spot. Just had Baltimore over Kansas City in the QB slot. Congrats to the side hustle winners. And let's check out the old island of misfit cards. This is where you play 1 tight end and 1 defense. T. Diddy Penguin, Kansas City tight end, uses a joker there, pairs it up with the Cleveland defense. That's what we call the nut lineup. Gets the win with 44.4 points. Congratulations to Gold Club members in the top 5 as well there. And the OG contest. Socrates takes it on down. Kansas City quarterback tight end stack. Also uses the game stack, but uses it with the LAC running back. Instead uses the other Los Angeles team, the Rams, at the wide receiver spot. Pops in that Cleveland defense, and Socrates takes down the OG contest. Spartacus also sitting in here in 6th place with a nice lineup as well. T-Man, JM, my friend. I'm not sure if you just joined, but we just checked out one of your lineups. Congrats on the cash. And the final one, we have the new Pack Party contest where the top 10 users, or no, top 10 users, I think. Make sure I don't misspeak here. Yeah, top 10 users get a free snack pack. The following 10 get a free reroll. You can use any 3 cards that you want, just can't use the same card twice. Look at this. MJ Goat sitting in the top 3, went Philly QB, Kansas City QB, and then Miami wide receiver. Nice construction there. Getting the 2 top QBs in the game while also creating that correlation in the Philly game with the Miami wide receiver. Love that there. And then we got Giant Hammer. Oh, I think Giant Hammer actually posted this in the Discord. Pretty dust ball lineup, you would think. Minnesota quarterback, Cleveland running back, Indy wide receiver. Gets you a free snack pack. So there we have it. If you got those extra cards, make sure you're throwing them into the contests. You never know what's going to happen. And of course, as I said, later today, TOC Best Ball will be opening up in the lobby. You'll be able to enter up to 10 lineups there. You can start to enter them now and still use those cards in your Week 8 and Week 9 weekly lineups. But after the Best Ball contest locks next Sunday at the start of Week 9, those cards will then be removed from your collection and removed from the Owners Club ecosystem as a whole. So keep that in mind heading into next week. Let's check out Rumble now. We've got free Rumble, of course, every single week. $2,500 in Dapper Balance prizes was up for grabs in Week 7. And Cool Peppers 9679 takes it on down. And as expected, we've got the Patrick Mahomes, Travis KELCE stack, and they used Patrick Mahomes as a hero. Remember, you can use one rare or legendary moment in each lineup. Designate that player to be your hero, which means that they will get a 1.25x multiplier on all of the fantasy points that they score. There will also be heroes in each of the Hoops games. So we talked about our 2 new Hoops formats at the top of the show. We have Hoops Boost and we have Hoops Icons. In each of those, there are also heroes in play, giving utility to those that are owning the rare and legendary moments. Shout out to B-Dub here in third. B-Dub, member of the community that's always grinding all of the streets in terms of the fantasy contest. Nice lineup here with the Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown stack, running it back with Tyreek Hill on the other side. Kamara really put up a big game this week. Got that little Kamara, Travis Etienne mini stack there. 2 pass catching running backs on either side. We've also got Andrew Hall up here in 6th place with that same idea. Very similar lineup, actually. Only like one must have been a defense different. Is that it? Yeah, Cleveland Browns score 19. Jacksonville Jaguars score 12. So yeah, 1 or 2 players different, maybe different hero as well. Yeah, Kamara versus Etienne as a hero, but 2 nice constructions. Oh, look at this. We got, I think this is B-Dubs right here. Brandon 77, JM, sweat last night. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's a fantastic sweat to be having. Love to see it. We also, of course, have our Rumble Legends qualifier contest continuing each and every week, getting your chance to earn those golden tickets. Mike 2121 coming in at that number 1 spot. The top 50 all receive a golden ticket every week. 51 through 100 will also receive a quarter pass, which gets you 5 additional entries. And then 101 through 200 all still receiving a ticket to the next week's contest. Help you stack up those golden tickets and prepare for the end of week tournament, which will be starting in week 15. And lastly, the Jolly Joker qualifier. Uncle Tibbs takes it down. In this contest, you get 1 lineup for every Jolly Joker that you hold. Profound Soda in the top here. Malky Mac. Congratulations to everybody that shipped yourself some golden tickets this week. Cool. I think that kind of quickly breaks down everything that you need to know from week 7. As always, you can check out the DraftKings football show with Justin. Justin is always breaking down things from a more technical perspective, a more in the weeds perspective. He talks through his lineups that he creates on DraftKings each week. He talks through the slate and the games as a whole, some of his favorite games to target, some of his favorite players to target, the updated news and injuries that you need to know. There's critical injuries happening every single week, and Justin helps kind of guide you through that process. So very helpful if you're playing DraftKings. Also helpful even if you're not playing DraftKings. Just good information there of how you should be thinking about fantasy football on a week-to-week basis and how you should be applying what we learn every week to your future weeks and any contest format that you are playing. So check that out. Again, the DraftKings Football Show with Justin Herzig. I also posted a new episode of the Own the Moment podcast this week. So if you are not subscribed there, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. I'm doing them pretty much weekly, typically talking about different things going on in the Web3 sports space. Talked some Top Shot recently. In this latest episode, we had the kind of great debate that took place the other week between Drew Austin, Michael Levy, Jason Metz, and thought that it was a really good, thoughtful, insightful conversation. And so just did my own little summary of that chat for people that did not get to watch the full, like almost 2-hour show that they did. I quickly summarized the key takeaways in a 20-minute podcast. And lastly, make sure you're giving me a follow over on the X platform at TJL5124DFS. Been posting there a bit more over the past couple of weeks, posting some threads, giving my thoughts on everything that I'm seeing going on in the environment, and will continue doing so going forward. All right. Thanks, everyone. Congrats to all the winners in the contests. Happy NBA opening day, and I'll see you all in Discord.